Hello, this is Bill here. I just want to go over the Greek exam that we did in the last 10 days. On the whole, you did really quite well, and I threw you one or two things in there that you had to research and move ahead. For example, an infinitive I put in there, and you may have guessed that one of the present indicative ones could have actually been translated as an imperative, but that's in the future what we're dealing with mounts. Overall, I would just encourage you to stick to a more literal translation at this point and avoid the notion of trying to sort of paraphrase something. If you do paraphrase it and put it in better English than the literal, and I still think at this stage it's best just to keep it very literal, if you do that, make sure that your paraphrase actually is congruent with the tenses and the grammatical forms of the words that you are putting in paraphrase. Well, one or two of you were a bit too extravagant, I think, in respect to the way that you translated the literal in a way that was easier to understand and perhaps to read. But at this stage, we're still sort of taking really elementary steps. And so I would just encourage you to keep it as literal as you can, because it will help you, and you'll gradually make that step to looking at a very literal translation and then saying, now, how can I put this in better English? So basically, I'm just going to go through the 10 sentences that we had, and I'm looking now at the first one, which you'll see on the screen there. And you can see that that initial verb there in gidzo is a dental. In other words, it ends in a delta, so therefore when it's in the future, the delta drops out and the sigma replaces it. So in other words, that's a future indicative active of in gidzo, I will hope what excuse me, I will draw, I'm thinking of elpizo, I will draw near, and I will never the first word in the sentence, and or but, sometimes not even translated, and I will draw near into a proposition, meaning towards or into. And then what you have is you can see that they're all in the same case. In other words, it's accusative, masculine, singular, with the main noun adelphon. So therefore, the adjectives that are before it, which are really second declension adjectives that end in os, a, on, they're both the same, and you can see that with the ending. So it's fairly straightforward. I will draw near to each beloved brother. Number two, you can see there the elpizo. You are hoping in God. N plus the dative with theo from theos. He will open what is that's an oigo, which if you combine the gamma with the sigma for the future, then forms a psi. So he will open, a door, indefinite, first declension feminine noun ending in a vowel or a row here in terms of a row. And he will open a door for you, personal pronoun, dative, plural, in respect to your need, krea, which is a first declension feminine noun, two, and then you have a second person pronoun, plural, genitive, of you, literally, possessive pronoun there. That's fairly straightforward, I think. And then number three, katharitsete, you are what? You are cleansing what? Your own hearts. The hearts, kardia, which is a first declension feminine noun, but it's in the accusative, plural, so therefore it's the object. You are cleansing the hearts. Idios aon is literally one's own. So it's your own hearts, idios aon, as an adjective, kai, and walking, and what? You will walk or will live. I think some of you translated it. I keep it fairly straightforward in a literal sense. Inopion, before another preposition before me. In other words, the inopion takes the genitive. It's a first person pronoun, genitive masculine singular. Now, in hodos is an unusual noun. It's one of three that I think we're aware of. They're actually feminine nouns, but they take masculine endings. And so what you have is it's a dative masculine plural, so to speak, ending of, and therefore it would be plural, in ways. Now, tes charas. Don't be fooled, because as you know, the feminine nouns that end in a row or a vowel, the genitive and the accusative are exactly the same. And so, therefore, what we have here is hetein tes. Tes is genitive singular, and you look at it, you look at chaos. The reason I'm saying that is that you could easily think that it's actually not joy, but joys, because it could be accusative plural. But it can't be accusative plural, because if it was, then the preceding adjective, the definite article there, would be what? It would be tas, not tes, hetein tes. So therefore, it's in ways of joy. So chodois is plural, but charas is singular. And then in number 4, I put this in. This is actually a second person singular active present imperative, which I felt you could work out from the actual form from crypto, which is to hide. I hide, crypto. So hide, what? Prosopon, very straightforward. It would be then a accusative, neuter, singular. The face of you, so second person pronoun, genitive. Away from, apo, out of, or from. Then we have hamatia, which is again a first declension feminine noun. The sins, it takes the genitive, to zapor, as we know, is a preposition. Take the sins of me. I'm just going through this just basically so that you can see where, when I've given you your, sent you back your exam, you can see some of the mistakes that you've made. And I've put some references in there in terms of some of the mistakes that you've made, but just to give you the big picture. And then number 5, and here's what have you got here? You've got an adjective that functions as a noun. So the poor man, it's masculine, nominative singular. The poor man, this is from Kratzo, and it's a dental, and so therefore it will combine with sigma to form future indicative active third person singular. And the poor man will cry out. En meso is in the midst. En takes the dative here, so that's why you have the meso in dative masculine singular. Tu hieru of the temple. Hieron. To hieron is a neuter noun regarding the inner sanctum of the temple. Number 6, what we will carry. Notice that that sigma should give it away that it's future. We will carry the paralytic, fairly straightforward there, masculine noun, accusative singular. Literally, I put these prepositions in to ratify the notion of how the prepositions are used in the different cases, primarily to, or in respect to usually accusative or genitive. Here with pros takes the accusative case. In other words, towards the door. He will carry the paralytic towards the door, and now then notice it's not we will, but they will. They will prepare. Hetomanzo, and then the dental drops out, so therefore the sigma is replacing that verbal stem in the future indicative active. They will prepare, and you haven't done this, but this is a present infinitive ending. They will prepare to, lambano means to take or receive, to take him. Personal pronoun, third person, accusative as the object, masculine singular, which would then be hauton, not hautein, because it would go back to haparaklutikos, which is masculine, which is why then that pronoun is also masculine at the end there, accusative singular. Number 7, the rest, hoi loipoi, obviously it's the subject, and then we have, actually this is a subordinate clause that goes in, because whatever it is, when you see hoi loipoi, it's the rest where you've got basically an adjective functioning as a noun, and then hoi thamadzusin it's the same subject. The ones, they are what? They are marveling, or they are wondering at his authority. Subject, the object there, exousia, feminine noun. So literally the rest, the ones who are wondering at his authority, and then we get the main verb come up, kerususen, they will preach, keruzo, which ends in the stem ends in a kappa, I think it is, keruk, and combined with the sigma, you have the psi. They will preach what? The love of him, literally, his love. Fairly straightforward, accusative, feminine, singular noun, agapein in this case. And then number 8, we have the same verb as in number 1. I will draw near. Acri is a preposition that means until, or up to, or as far as, and takes the genitive. So I will draw near unto the first temple, grave or tomb, literally. It's a neuter second declension noun, meon, here genitive, that would agree because of the preposition that goes with it, acri. And then you've got the attributive use of the qualifying adjective, protos, aeon, which is a fairly straightforward second declension adjective from that standpoint. Number 9, he is sitting, or he sits, present continuous or present simple, of katharizo. He is sitting upon, epi takes the genitive, location, upon what? The throne of heaven, to uranu. Haholunos, second declension masculine noun. Allah, and then you get the elision there where the alpha drops out because of the rough breathing mark that goes with the next word, hoi. But the hagioi, the holy ones, adjective uses a noun. In this case, the saints or the holy ones. What? Elpizo, they will hope. Dental drops out. They will hope. Theorein, again, you have not come across this in terms of an ending because it's a present infinitive ending, but I think you can work it out from just looking up the verb itself. But they will hope to see the coming, the parousia, a feminine noun, accusative, feminine, singular. And then finally, number 10, you have two main verbs there. You, what? You are preaching, and you, well, actually, is that the case? Is it you are preaching, and you will guard fuladzo and keruzo? It's actually, number 10 here is you are preaching or proclaiming the what? The promises and the commandments. So you have two plural objects, accusative, feminine, plural, evangelia, and also entella. So you are proclaiming the promises, and you are keeping the commandments. And now this is a difficult phrase, which we will actually come up, and I've made a reference to it so you can read it in Mount, page 202 and 203. It's called an articular affinitive.